Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into Squid Game Season 2. We're going to break it down episode by episode, talk about the insane twists, introduce new characters, and of course, discuss that wild cliffhanger ending. Now, if you haven't watched the season yet, be warned, spoilers ahead. So grab your popcorn, get comfortable, and let's dive right in. Introduction to Season 2. Alright, let's kick things off. Season 2 starts with Calhoun, a guy who might have survived the first round of the games, but let me tell you, he's still got some serious personal baggage. You'd think after going through all that, he'd be trying to do right by his daughter, but nope, Calhoun's still dodging her calls and running away from responsibility. It's heartbreaking, honestly. But the twist is, while he's dealing with this fatherhood mess, Calhoun finds a severed head and a tracker hidden inside his ear, which is like a wake-up call that the games are far from over. The brutality of the whole situation is on a whole new level now. The tension escalates when we flash back to Jun-ho, the cop from Season 1, who was thrown into a chaotic mess. After witnessing the deadly games unfold in Season 1, he's now left working a menial parking duty job, still reeling from being shot by his brother. Yeah, it's a tragic fate for this guy, but you can't help but admire his resilience. 2 years have passed, but he's not giving up on finding the truth behind what happened in the games. Introducing new players. Next, we meet Gian, a survivor who's using his winnings from the games to buy himself a motel. The trauma from the games is clearly still weighing on him, but he's trying to rebuild. He doesn't just want to chill, though he's got big plans now, like trying to track down the recruiter responsible for bringing people into the game. But here's where things take an interesting turn. Gian teams up with a shady loan shark, Seberg, who used to have a history with Calhoun. The money Gian used to pay off his debt to Seberg is what initially creates this uneasy alliance. But Gian's got a much bigger goal now. He's assembling a team of people who want to bring down the game for good. He gets his hands dirty, making deals and sending his goons out all over Korea to track down the recruiter. Meanwhile, Jun-ho, who's still shaken from the trauma of the games, has been rescued by a homeless guy who has connections to the underground world. Together, they begin their quest to locate the islands where these horrific games continue to take place. It's a hunt that's going to get darker as the season moves forward. The recruiter and the crypto scammer. The big twist in this part? They finally track down the recruiter and it's a wild reveal. Turns out, he's not just some random guy doing shady work. He's linked to a whole crypto scam operation, and he's known as Korean Hawk. This guy is smooth, dodging bullets, and somehow always staying one step ahead of everyone chasing him. It's like the games are just one cog in a much larger, darker machine. But as Jun-ho, Gian, and the gang get closer to the truth, the stakes are raised, and it's clear that things are about to get even darker. The games themselves are evolving into something even more dangerous. Russian roulette twist. Now, if you thought things couldn't get more intense, the recruiter plays Russian roulette with the loan sharks. Yes, you heard that right. The scene is absolutely tense, full of psychological warfare, and it's honestly chilling. Each time the gun clicks, you're on the edge of your seat, unsure who's going to make it out alive. The suspense is unbearable. Then, Gian confronts the recruiter, and they both engage in their own deadly round of Russian roulette, each taking turns pointing a gun at their own head. There's an insane moment when the gun clicks and no shot is fired. And for a second, you think they've both won until the tension rises, and you realize no one is safe. This was one of the most spine-tingling scenes of the entire season. It really sets the tone for the escalation that's about to unfold. The cop and the front man. Alright, let's shift gears and talk about Jun-ho and Gian's growing partnership. After Jun-ho reveals that he's been through the horrors of the games himself, the two form an unlikely alliance. They both share the same goal to stop the games once and for all. This dynamic between the two characters is one of the most interesting parts of the season. You really feel the bond forming between them, as they both know what's at stake. On the flip side, Gian is using his resources to gather a small army of powerful figures to take on the game system. This mission becomes a full-on war, and we see Gian's transformation from a survivor to a man bent on destruction. And then, just when you think things couldn't get more intense, the front man, yes, the terrifying figure from Season 1, makes a major reappearance. He's not done with the game, and he's got a whole new role to play this season, inside the game. Now, let's dive into the heart of the series, the games themselves. Junho, Giyen, and the others are making their way to the island where these horrific challenges take place. The tension in the air is thick as they infiltrate the island, and of course, we get some familiar faces along the way. The new season introduces several new characters, including a pregnant ex and a new crypto scammer, both of whom bring their own unique set of skills and secrets to the table. The games have changed. It's not just about the players anymore. We get a closer look at the guards and their role in keeping the system running. And of course, the frontman's motivations come into clearer focus. He's not just some puppet of the system, he's a key player who has a twisted reasoning behind every decision he makes. Getting a peek behind the scenes of the game adds a whole new layer of depth and horror to the series. The second game, the Deadly Challenge. Let's talk about the second game, which kicks the stakes up even higher. The players are now faced with a shapes challenge, where they have to pick between an umbrella, a circle, or a triangle. The catch? If they choose the wrong shape, they're immediately eliminated. It's a brutal, high-pressure challenge, and the players have to be strategic, not just in choosing the right shape, but in how they approach the task mentally. You start to see alliances form and break down as the pressure builds. The frontman, still lurking in the shadows, watches with sadistic pleasure as the numbers begin to dwindle. The suspense is absolutely unbearable, and it's clear that the games are evolving, and the challenges are becoming more complex and dangerous than ever. The third game, Chaos Unleashed. By the time we get to the third game, called Mingo, things have truly gone off the rails. The players have to form groups based on their assigned numbers, and things get chaotic fast. You can feel the desperation in the air as the players scramble to form alliances and then break them just as quickly. This isn't just a game of physical endurance, it's a game of psychological warfare. The players start to realize that the real danger isn't just the games themselves, but the alliances and betrayals happening behind the scenes. You see characters who were once allies suddenly turn on each other. Junho and Giyen find themselves trapped in critical situations where they have to fight not only for survival, but for control of the game. The pressure is suffocating, and every moment could be their last.
The vote to leave or stay. The tension reaches a climax when the remaining players are given a choice. Vote to leave the game and walk away with nothing, or stay and risk everything for a shot at the prize money. The temptation to leave is strong, but the debt-ridden players can't resist the lure of a life-changing amount of money. The game, of course, is rigged to ensure that those who stay will have the advantage. The psychological manipulation here is absolutely brilliant. And then, just when you think things couldn't get more shocking, player number 1, remember him from Season 1, is revealed to be the frontman. Yeah, mind-blowing, right? This twist connects the dots from Season 1 to Season 2 in a way that leaves your jaw on the floor. It's a brilliant move, and it's wild to think how far the game has come. The final showdown. The season builds to a violent showdown, where the players are left fighting for their lives. Alliances form, betrayals happen, and the violence escalates rapidly. There's no turning back now. One of the most shocking moments is when player 120 makes a bold move, taking down several guards in a split-second decision that shifts the balance of power. As the final moments of the game approach, it seems like there's a chance to bring down the frontman and finally end the games. But just when you think victory is within reach, the real twist emerges, setting the stage for an even more intense showdown. The cliffhanger ending, and then the season ends with an intense cliffhanger. Giyen and the others are left at a crossroads, unsure if they'll survive or if the game will come to an end. The preview for Season 3 teases even more dangerous players, new challenges, and possibly the return of familiar faces. The mystery of the game is far from over, and we're left wondering what's next. Final thoughts. Squid Game Season 2 has been a roller coaster of emotions, suspense, and jaw-dropping moments. While the pacing felt a little off at times, and some characters didn't get the attention they deserved, the acting was phenomenal. I loved how much darker the season got, especially with the perspective of the guards and the system behind the games coming into play. So, what did you think of this season? Did you love the new characters, or were there some twists that had you yelling at your screen? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.